Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and welcome to the show. When you come to the penitentiary, most of the time, you're going to be assigned a job. You don't really get to pick where you want to go initially, when you come into the penitentiary. They're going to put you where they need you to be to fulfill whatever mission, job, that they think you should be filling, right? Most of the times, you go to the kitchen. That's just what it is. But there are those occasions, right, at certain prisons that I've been in where they got these things called long lines and short lines. This back in the day. Long lines and short lines, that's basically, long lines are where they have a line of inmates, right? Sometimes you chain together, sometimes you're not, but you got on shackles. Sometimes you don't have shackles on at all, where you're out picking up trash or you're farming, planting potatoes, whatever, or building a farm for somebody, whatever the case may be. But it's real hard labor. Sometimes you might just be out digging ditches, sawing trees down, whatever the case may be. And sometimes, quite honestly, you might just be moving one pile of dirt from here to there and then back. It's just busy work in a lot of cases, right? And it's designed to break you, period. They don't care about your mental. They don't care if you like it. This is to make sure that you understand that you made wrong choices, bad choices, and you are going to be told what to do. And as soon as you fall in line and understand that you do what you're told, then they'll move you on to something else. They're trying to train you, groom you. You don't have a choice. You don't get a choice in this, right? You're going to do what you're told to do, when you're told to do it, how you're told to do it. And that really bothers me because I had a friend of mine that was doing a job, like that, right? And he told me that, he played the role. He played the role, and it made him feel like 2 feet tall, 2 inches tall, because his words were, and I'll tell you exactly what he said to me. He said he played the house nigga. He thought that would get him favor, but it didn't. He said they dogged him out even worse, and then on top of that, the other guys on the line with him, they stopped respecting him. Even when he tried to explain to them that he was just popping his whip, trying to be able to make it as light on himself as possible. He was trying to convince everybody else to do the same thing. They didn't do it. But he lost respect from both sides. Because he just figured, I got to do something to get through this. I don't want to have to be yelled at every day and be threatened. Now, keep in mind that the boss man is sitting up on a horse with a rifle looking at you. Now, that's back in the day. It's back in the day. Looking at you. See, they don't have to do that now because they got most people coming in, they already broke. They already broke mentally. They don't have to do that now. They just, give you the rule book and say, these are the rules, this is what you do. You don't do them, you're going to the hole. Most people, they weigh it up what's in their best interest. But see, this story I'm finna tell you is about this dude named Omar. And Omar was one of them rebellious type dudes. I mean, he don't like no kind of authority whatsoever. None. And he was very familiar with, the past, the history of, of our people in this country and how we've been treated and how they do this systematic breaking down of the mind, the body, and the soul and try to mold you into their image and all this. He out there always putting it down. He always putting it down and telling everybody, you got to resist this, you got to fight back, you got to do this, you got to know your history. If you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. He's saying all of these different types of things, and it sounds real good. He knows what he's talking about. When we're not at work, and the guy's not at work, he's always got these history books that we read, and he's telling us about how they think and how we think and how we constantly put ourselves in these positions where we feel that being subordinate to them is where we're supposed to be. And he's like, it ain't where we're supposed to be, Joe T. That's what he always say. And I'll be like, you right, Omar. You right. But we broke the law. We gave it to them. I said, they didn't come like our ancestors. They come and catch us in the field or catch us warring against each other and one faction sell to the other. You know what I'm saying? Sell the other ones to them. They didn't do it like that. I said, we gave it to them. We out there hustling, selling dope, robbing, stealing, killing, raping, doing all these things that are crazy to our people and to the community, and then they come get us. See, it's a big difference. But then he hit me with, you know what I'm saying, something that really rocked me. He said, it really rocked. He said, you ever read this book called The New Jim Crow? I was like, yeah, I read it by Michelle Alexander. He was like, yeah. He said, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, look here, it ain't about what you do. It's about who you are. He said, when you go in front of them, they're going to do you like they want to do you, as if you were back in the day. So I turn around, I hit him, I said, oh my, listen to me, man. Hold up. What about the judges and the bailiff and the jurors and the people that look like you? What about them? What role are they playing in this? Because sometimes it's them that's sending you in here. I said, it can't just be about what we did. He was like, no, they don't even know what they doing. What? Explain that to me, bro. So he started breaking down some things. How we've been broken. And we want to be a part of the system so bad. We want to be accepted. We want to assimilate into a system that we'll even chop the heads off of our own. But I said, oh my, but what about those of us that's selling dope? Ain't we just as bad? He's like, yeah, we bad. He said, but we're lost too and sick. But what they're doing to us in here is beyond that. He said, I ain't got no problem paying for what I did, Joe T. But this right here got me out here in the field doing all this, planting potatoes, busting rocks, plowing a field when they got tractors for that now. He said, man, now hold on. This is just cruel and unusual punishment. And we would have this kind of conversation every day, and I just laugh, and I just laugh. It wasn't funny, but I laughed to keep from crying. I laughed to keep from crying. But see, Omar, he was begging them folks to let him off of this. He wanted off bad. He filled out all kind of paperwork, talking about he was sick, his body couldn't take it. He said it was against his religion to be treated this way. Anything he can come up with, he asked him. He begged him. He even went to the CO that was on the horse, and he told him, he said, sir, I ain't trying to be belligerent. I ain't trying to be mean. I ain't trying to be disrespectful, and I respect authority as best I can, as best I know how. But I don't belong out here. This ain't a good place for me to be. My mind can't take this. Now, I'm listening to Omar when he telling this police that. And this police that's sitting on this horse look just like him. Listen to me now. Listen to me. And that police looked down at him on that horse. He looked down at him, right? Because that horse is up high, right? He looked down on him. He said, look here, boy. Get back over there with the rest of them and get to digging that dirt. So Omar get mad. And he walked to the end of the horse. And as hard as he could, he slapped back, hit that horse on his ass, and that horse strike out. Now, it's another police out there, too, that's on the ground. He draw down on Omar, tell him, get on your face, get in the dirt. Now, the rest of the guys on the line, we already connected. We lay down in the dirt, face down. I'm like, oh, here we go. Here we go. I'm thinking Omar finna get shot. Omar lay down in the dirt and start laughing. Black dude get the horse under control. He ride back. He come back over there. And he said, you think you funny? He said, I got something for you. So he called on the radio. They come and got Omar. Took Omar butt to the hole. 30 days in the hole. They charged him with attempted escape. That's not attempted escape, but I guess you could twist it to make it that if that's what you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? They charged him with that. Put him in the hole for 30 days. And then as soon as them 30 days was up, put him right back. See, he thought he had done something slick and they weren't going to put him back out there. He thought he had got away from that line. He thought he got away. But soon as them 30 days, I'm talking about, he didn't get one day beyond that 30. Oh, he loved it when he was in the hole. He loved it. He had to worry about getting up in the morning. They brought his food to him, all in that breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Shower every other day, all this and that. And he just making these plans for when he get out, he going to have another job probably in the kitchen, and he just going to do the rest of his time and let it do what it do. He just going to coast it out. They bought him his work assignment 2 days before he got out the hole. You're going right back to the line, the same line. And you're going right back to digging them holes. Yeah. We out there, listen to me. This field is so big, you could stand on one end of the field and you're going to look like an ant. You know what I'm saying? To the person that's on the other end of the field. Police out there just riding on the horse looking at you. And you digging holes. Planting potatoes. Don't they got machines for that kind of stuff? That's what I'm thinking too. I'm starting to think like Omar now. You know? So anyway, Omar get out the hole. He ain't in the pod I'm in. He was in another pod. So I see him though later on that afternoon. I said, where they put you at, Omar? He said, man, these people, man, ain't nothing, something wrong with these folks, man. They put me right back out there, man. He said, I ain't going though. I'm going to do something else. I said, what you going to do, Omar? It ain't nothing else that you can do to get out of that. What are you going to do? He said, man, Joe T, I ain't figured it out yet, but I'm not going to be on that line for much longer. I said, bro, don't do nothing stupid. I said, they could have shot you then. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not scared of nothing. I'm not scared of them. Honestly, I'm not. But many folks got shotguns. No, not shotgun, them rifles. I think they're 30-30s. Listen, when it hits you, it's going to flip you. When it hits you, it's going to flip you. You out there with nothing. Remember the movie Life with Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy? That's what I'm talking about. Out in the field. Out in the field. Digging holes, planting potatoes, planting corn, whatever they want you to plant. Everybody out there doing their thing. And again, yeah, it was a benefit because you got some fresh vegetables coming, you know what I'm saying, when they grow and they feed them to you in the chow hall and all this and that. But I'd rather you just go to Kroger's. Go to Kroger's or Publix or something like that. And I know some of y'all listening probably thinking that, well, that's what you get because you're in the penitentiary. True that. You right. I ain't even going to trip with you. But I sure would like to see you out there digging that hole. What's that got to do with me being rehabilitated? That's what I just want you to explain that to me. Well, some people will say, right, well, it'll teach you a work ethic. Really. Now, where am I going to get a job when I get out the penitentiary digging a hole planting vegetables when they got John Deere tractors to do all that? Real talk. This is not about me learning a work ethic. This is about them breaking me. And that's what'll happen when all y'all out there throwing them rocks at the penitentiary. They're going to put you in a situation to break you mentally. That's just what it is. Now, they think that they're doing right by you, right? Because you need to be in a certain lane. I'm looking at it like, well, maybe they are helping you. Maybe they are helping me. I just don't see it. I don't know. Maybe they are. But Omar, no matter what I said to him, and I was saying all the stuff to him because I didn't want to see him get shot. I didn't see him going in and out of the hole. I didn't want to see all of those things happening to him, and I knew that those are the things that was going to happen to him. I didn't want to see that. So, but Omar, he plotted. He plotted just like Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence on Life. Every chance he got, he tried something. We got this thing here called AVOs, right? That's when you can go to the clinic, tell them you're sick, and then they'll give you a day off work, or maybe 2 or maybe 3. Omar going to the clinic once a week. Now you go to the clinic, you got to pay a copay $3. Now we don't make no money. But you got to pay that. So they get you to fill out the paper before they even ask you what's wrong with you. How can I help you? And then they're going to take that money. Omar going up there. $3 every time. $3 a week. He going up there trying to get a day off. After a while, they sit down. They done already told him, don't give him no time off. Ain't nothing wrong with it. If he don't have a fever or something's really, really wrong with him, send him to work. So he sending him to work. So Omar act like he hurt his back. He go to work. The back is the hardest thing to diagnose. He go to the clinic. First he came to work. Can't move. Oh, boss, I can't move. My back hurt. I can't do what I need to do. He said, go to the clinic. That's what they have to do. They got to let you go get medical attention. He go to the clinic. They done already called up and said he on the way. Omar get up there. They examine it. See if any stiffness. Ain't no swelling. Listen to me. Ain't no swelling in the area in his back. When they test the range of motion, he can move up and down, but it's kind of slow. So they give him a limited AVO, meaning you can do some things, but you can't do everything. So he said, do I have to go to work? The nurse looked at him like, if I could help you, I would, but yeah, you got to go to work. They told us you got to go to work. So they sent him right back to work. We sitting out there. When he walking down the sidewalk, I'm looking at him. He mad. Look here. He mad as a 6-shooter. Ready to shoot off, right? When he get down there, I'm looking at him. Where you going? He said, Joe T, don't play with me. I said, man, grab that plow in. Let's roll, man. We walk and we look like two, listen to me now. We looking like two people back in the 60s, man. Rolling down through there. Got a piece of straw in the mouth, chewing on it and all this and that, right? Looking silly. Just looking silly. And you know how do you look dirty in the morning? You feel me? We ain't even got into the field yet. We look dirty. Look rough. How do you do that? You know what I'm saying? They put you in that field long enough, you gonna look like you really belong in the field. I'm telling y'all, get a tractor. Don't go out there that field. Your hands always dirty. I don't like my fingernails dirt all up under your nails. You can't even go to visit. You got to soak your hand like 2 or 3 good times in the water, put some palm olive oil on it or something, and get the dirt out from under your nails. And you go to visit, look like, don't no woman want to be looking at no man with no dirty hands. I know some of y'all do. I don't know why. Dirt under the nails is not an indicator of a hard worker. You feel what I'm saying? Dirt under the nails is an indicator of a lazy man that don't know how to wash his hands. Now, I'm just saying now, I know some of y'all working under them car motors and all this and that. I get it. But they got soap that'll get that clean, man. Get your hands clean, man. It don't make you hard because your hands dirty. Get your hands clean. Go on and get you what they call it, a manicure. That don't make you soft. Can't wait to get me one. Get these cuticles. That's what they call these things, them cuticles, all that on the side and stuff like that. I can't wait. But anyway, let me get back to it. Y'all know how I be drifting all the way off. But look here. Omar, he out there whipping. He out there, he looking sick. He mad. I look over at him. He dragging the dirt. He dragging it and flipping it. Look like a pro. Look like a real pro. And I'm egging it on. You can't let me know something bothers. I'm going to throw some gas on it. I said, look, man. I said, we do 2 more rows. Now, these rows is about like, I don't know, maybe 1.5 acres. Half an acre or something long. I said, we do 2 more rows, man. We can go get us some water from the boss. He looked at, he said, Joe T, quit playing with me. So we out there, the day goes by. We get back to the unit. We're in the unit, we chilling. Omar come down to the set. He said, I figured it out, Joe T. I figured out what I'm gonna do. I said, Omar, quit playing with these folks, man. You spending $3 every time you go to the doctor. They not letting you off work. I said, quit playing with these folks. They are not going to let you off this line. You might well go on and do it and finish. You know what I'm saying? And then eventually, they'll find a job for you and me somewhere else, and then we can go do our thing. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't tripping because I work out all the time. I used it. I flipped it in my mind. I'm using it like, you know what I'm saying? It's getting me in shape. Cardio fire. Have your body ripped. I don't know if I could do it today, but, you know, that's how I'm looking at it. I'm telling myself this so I can get through this, right? You got to be able to do that. Tell yourself something to get through. Omar couldn't do that. So he got this plan. Oh, this is foolproof. He said it's foolproof. Foolproof. You understand? And if you want to know what it is, you're going to have to tune in to the next episode, right? It's coming up in a few minutes. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker. And I say peace, y'all.